My name's Lisa and I'm the drama coach, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the practitioner Stanislavski. This video could be useful if you want to learn a little about Stanislavski, if you already know some and you want to revise, or perhaps you've never heard of him before and want to begin somewhere. So, in order to understand him and some of his techniques, we need to think about what theatre was like in the time that Stanislavski created his system. I suppose he was almost rebelling against the theatre of the time, which was very over the top and melodramatic and not very truthful. A lot of people call Stanislavski the founder of modern theatre because it's possibly because of him that theatre and television is so realistic these days, and that people now create whole realistic, psychologically interesting characters. So here are some of his techniques. One of them was emotional memory. That's really easy to remember because it's simply using the memory of an emotion. So if you've got your character and they are going through something similar to something you've gone through in the past, you can go back and think about how that memory and that emotion made you feel. Are you feeling anger, for example? Is it in your stomach? Is it in your chest? Do you feel it in your head? Sadness. Depending on the type of sadness, you might feel it differently in your body. So you go back and you think, of course, a childlike sadness might be different to something you experience in your adult life, say. I can remember heaving tears, your breath getting all out of joint, and that sort of desperate upset when you've been told off by your parents. And that's very different to upset possibly in a relationship. So have a think, find the closest memory that you can to that emotion and go back in time in your mind. Think about what was happening to you in that time and re-find that emotion. That's emotional memory. Of course, it's quite possible that you haven't gone through the same as the character that you're playing, which is absolutely fine. You pick an emotion close to it and you play around with that, and then you link it to Stanislavski's other techniques. For example, given circumstances, it's likely that if you've got a character, you've got a script. The script begins your given circumstances. Here is everything you have to begin your research and begin understanding when the character was alive, where they were, what they were doing, what relationships they had, what their personality is like. That's your given circumstances. Everything in the script and more. It's not going to have everything from that character's life. You then use your imagination and, as Stanislavski would call it, magic if. What if I was in this situation? How would I feel? Use your emotional memory. What would I do? So that's your given circumstance, the script, and any research that goes with it. Another technique Stanislavski encouraged his actors to use is circles of attention. And he talked about 3 main circles of attention. Your inner circle, so what's happening inside and very, very close to you. Then you've got the second circle that will encompass anything in the room or space you're in, including other characters. Maybe there's a lamp you switch on. That's your second circle. And then your third circle is the wider world, beyond that imaginary fourth wall. What's beyond? Is it, do you look out of a window? Are there people passing in the house beyond you. So that's your third circle. So you've got your inner, your second, and your outer, which is, you know, the wider world. So you can have a play around with that. Which lines would you say in which circle and why? Okay, let's have a think of some other techniques that you would. Yes, faith and a sense of truth. It seems to almost go without saying these days that you need to believe in what you're doing. Have faith in who you are, where you are, why you're there, and play it with a sense of truth. Stanislavski thought relaxation was very important, as I'm sure you do too. Because if you don't have a blank canvas, you know, your body, your face, to build up this character, then you're going to be stuck with things that are already you. I don't know, maybe you have a particular posture. Obviously we want to use you. We've talked about that in emotional memory. We want to use you in your character. But if you can be relaxed before you start, if you can do relaxation training in your muscles, then that's going to really help you be able to build the character on top of that. So I hope you found those few Stanislavskian techniques useful. We have talked about emotional memory, magic if, given circumstances, and relaxation of muscles. I will post another video that talks in more detail about Stanislavski's technique of units and objectives. If you haven't already subscribed, I'd really appreciate you clicking the subscribe button. And if you have already, then thank you very much.